Here with another pfSense update video. Well, today is a really exciting day for everybody here at Netgate. Today we are super excited to announce the immediate availability of Netgate pfSense Plus software version 2201, as well as pfSense Community Edition version 2.6. Both of these are available right now, so if you're watching this video, go ahead and check your systems update page on your pfSense installations, because there's updates available for you to download. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the changes. I know that I've already made a video during the development cycle of 2201 and 2.6 where I kind of teased some of the changes that were coming. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that and demonstrating all the changes. And like I did in that video, I'm going to link that video in the description. But if you are just now finding this channel, or you haven't seen that video and you want the summary, the TLDW on that, I'm going to go ahead and just walk through the changelog and just briefly, and then we're going to talk about the next major announcement today, which is an official migration path from pfSense Community Edition software to Netgate pfSense Plus software. This has been a highly requested and anticipated feature, and we're really excited to announce that starting today, you can upgrade your pfSense Community Edition virtual machines or your white box installations to Netgate pfSense Plus software. And I'm going to show you how you can do that in this video as well. So let's go ahead and start off with the changelog for 2201 and 2.6. Again, I've already made a video where I kind of went into, in a lot more detail, but I'm going to go into it in this video. But just to highlight some of the major changes, in addition to these major bullet point changes, there's been hundreds of fixes, not only in pfSense related code directly, but also in upstream FreeBSD. So it's not just what's on this page, it's also a plethora of changes and fixes that go all the way down to the base operating system. So if you're running an older version of pfSense, like 2.45 or 2.5.2 or 21.05, we encourage you to upgrade. There's a lot of changes, and we think you're really going to, we think that this upgrade you're going to be quite pleased with the stability and the direction that things are going. So if you're running an old version, it might be time to check out what's coming and upgrade. So let's go ahead and jump into the changelog. So the first big thing with 2201 and 2.6 is there has been some major changes to IPsec that really improve the stability and the performance. Not so much the performance of IPsec as a transport, but more so as an administrator configuring IPsec and also reading state data from IPsec in the user interface. So you're going to notice some substantial improvements in terms of like the IPsec status page, also the widget. You're going to notice that these are going to they're going to show more complete information, and they're also going to be faster. So one of the improvements technically that has happened is we're now performing fewer requests to the IPsec subsystems for gathering state data, and we're doing it in a much more technically sound way. So we're caching, and passing along this data through a request, so we're not having to reach out and do those expensive calls, a lot to gather all the data that is necessary for actually creating the status page or creating the widget at the presentation layer. We're now gathering that data in a much more efficient way, and that in turn means that everything is a lot more performant. So you're going to see some performance increases there in the status page as well as the widget. There's also changes to VTI interface names. So if you are using IPsec VTI, make sure that you read the release notes carefully. There's some notes there concerning the IPsec changes, and you might want to just skim through that just to make sure that you're not going to be hit. Where we can, we do try to make the upgrade path seamless. So not just with IPsec, but for all the systems of pfSense. So when there's a change to, for example, the configuration layout in config.xml, we always make it a habit to also write the upgrade code that will take the old config and upgrade that to the new config for the new for any new changes that might change in terms of the schema and any APIs that we're using and that sort of thing. So it should be pretty straightforward, but as a general rule of thumb, it's always important to read the release notes to see if anything is going to potentially impact you with upgrading. But it should be a pretty seamless upgrade in that sense as well. So again, I'm going to leave links to not only our blog post, but also to the actual release notes, the new feature and changes page here on our docs that talk about the security and the errata and any of the general information, as well as all of the changes to the specific subsystems and features and whatnot in pfSense. So I will leave links there below. I'm not going to go in too much more detail on that, other than here's the links. I've already talked about it. Go and watch that previous video if you want, a more developer perspective of the development cycle of 2201 and 2.6. So I will leave links in the description for both of those. The next thing is the official migration path from pfSense Community Edition software to Netgate pfSense Plus software. So this has been a highly requested feature since pfSense Plus was announced in early 2021, and we're really excited to finally have a upgrade path available for no charge for home as well as lab evaluation use, as well as, of course, paid commercial licenses if support is something that you're also interested in as well. So what do these changes look like for you, depending upon what kind of customer you are? If you already have a Netgate appliance, this announcement changes nothing for you as well. So if you are already running pfSense Plus software on a Netgate appliance, you have pfSense Plus, and that is a perpetual license that exists for the life of that particular product. So as long as the appliance that you're running is actively supported by Netgate, you are entitled to a license for and upgrades for that appliance for the life of that product. And as well as you also have access to complementary TAC Lite support, which is what we call 0 to ping, which just allows it's our complementary support that basically gets you up and running and pinging a remote host on the internet. So it's kind of that initial get up and go, and we'll help you with that, and then the rest is on you unless you upgrade to a more a larger tier support subscription there. If you're a Netgate TAC customer with an active support subscription, you are a Netgate customer, and you'll have access to pfSense Plus software during the full term of your subscription. So if you are not using a Netgate appliance, let's say that you're running a white box or you are running in a virtual machine, what does that mean to you? Well, if you are a home user, you have access to a no-cost, non-commercial home license. If you are if you're a lab user, let's say you're trying to evaluate pfSense Plus for some commercial use, some commercial intent, but you want to first test the software, make sure that it's going to work in your situation, you have access to a no-cost lab license as well. Both of these licenses ultimately deliver the same bits. It's the same pfSense Plus software. There's no limitations or differences between the two. These are just two licenses to differentiate two different use cases, either as a home user who wants to use pfSense Plus software to protect their families, or if you are a lab user wanting to test and validate pfSense Plus in a for a future commercial use. There's no cost licenses for both of those, but both of those are subject to the terms of the evaluation agreement, which you have to agree to when you purchase that no-cost license, which I'm going to show you that process in just a second. And the breakdown for that is pretty much no cost for home or lab, and then we have TAC Lite, TAC Pro, and TAC Enterprise at their respective price points with their respective business assurance and software upgrades and SLAs and all that kind of thing. So it's we're really excited about this new upgrade path, and I know that the community has been really looking forward to this as well. And we're really excited to announce that it is available starting today, February 14th, Valentine's, which is our Valentine's gift to the community. So yeah, so let's kind of talk through what that upgrade process might look like, because I think that's probably why you're here. Again, if you want to know more about 2201 and 2.6, make sure to check the link in the description for the video that I filmed about those versions. I know that that was during the development cycle and things can obviously change, but for the most part, we've just been, kind of fine tuning, buffing out the rough spots and refining, our build tooling and whatnot to make upgrades, our releases, easier for us to do for you. So there's not a lot that's changed in terms of front-facing user-facing features. So just make sure to check that video out if you want a more in-depth walkthrough of 2201 and 2.6. So let's talk about the upgrade from CE to Plus. So I have here just a virtual machine running 2.6. It's already running the release, the actual release build. So if you're interested in kind of starting over from scratch, you want to get onto pfSense Plus on a white box or a virtual machine, your first step is you're going to go to pfSense.org and you're going to download the ISO image just as you would if you were going to, if you were upgrading, you were installing 2.5.2 or any other community edition release. This is not any different from any community edition release that we've ever had in the past. But the first step into getting Plus is you need to grab 2.6 and install 2.6 Community Edition. Once that is done, you're going to notice some few changes in 2.6 in terms of the user interface. But what you want to do is click on System and go to Register. And this is the registration page where you will input an activation token that you will get after you make the upgrade purchase through the Netgate store, which I'm going to show you in just a second. And once you grab that token and click register, then you will have access to the upgrade repository, which you can find under System Update, and the branch here, you will see a new branch for pfSense Plus, and that will allow you to upgrade to pfSense Plus in place from pfSense Community Edition 2.6. So this is our upgrade path for getting onto pfSense Plus. Is you first install 2.6, make sure that 2.6 runs on your hardware or on your hypervisor or in your environment. And once you have validated that, then you can make the step to pfSense Plus, potentially using the lab evaluation license, and you can evaluate using pfSense Plus using a lab license for your use case. And then if you're a commercial customer and you're confident that things are working as intended and you want to make that next step to actual commercial support and a commercial subscription, then you can make the upgrade to one of the higher tier TAC offerings. So this is kind of the way that we're going to do it. We're going to make sure to get you on 2.6, and then we're going to do an in-place upgrade to pfSense Plus. So let's go ahead and do that. So I've already, again, this is the release build of 2.6, and we're going to go ahead and go to the Netgate site. We're going to click on Buy Now to go to the store. We're going to find this really nice banner here for pfSense Plus. We're going to click on that, and then you can see the new page here on our shop for pfSense Plus software subscriptions. And you can see that there are 5 different options. We have Home for non-commercial use. We have the Lab non-commercial use. Remember, both of those deliver the same bits to you. It's just a differentiator between the 2 use cases. We also have TAC Lite, which is no charge at the moment, 0 to ping. And we also have TAC Professional and TAC Enterprise. But for our purposes, I'm going to just go ahead and use a Lab non-commercial subscription. And I'm going to click Add to Cart. And I'm going to go ahead and enter the cart here and click Checkout. And I'm going to go ahead and just log in to my account here, and we're going to make a purchase. So we're going to continue to payment here. Again, there's no need for any payment information. This is a zero-cost order, so we're going to click Complete Order. Once that's done, you should receive an email within a few seconds with your activation token. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and I'll be right back. All right, so once you receive the email from Netgate with the activation token, you're going to go back to your pfSense Community Edition installation. You're going to click on System and go back to that register page. And now you can go ahead and just paste that activation token in and click on Register. And if everything is successful, you'll see that the banner turns green, and you can see that we, thank you for choosing Netgate pfSense. Your firewall has been successfully registered, and your next step is to visit the system update page and choose pfSense Plus in the list of repositories. So we're going to click on System, go to Update, we're going to go to Branch, and we're going to choose pfSense Plus Upgrade. And once you do that, you will have the option of upgrading from 2.6.0 to 22.01. So we're going to go ahead and click on Confirm, and we're going to run through the upgrade process to update pfSense Community Edition to Netgate pfSense Plus. And notice that this is a pretty lightweight upgrade. We're not having to upgrade all of the packages. There's not a substantial change between 2.6 and 22.01. So this is actually a pretty slim upgrade. So it should be pretty quick. So we're just going to sit here and watch this upgrade. All right, I'm going to go ahead and log back in. You can see that we're now running pfSense, Netgate pfSense Plus software. So the upgrade path, as you can see, is really streamlined and very straightforward. And once you are on pfSense Plus software, you'll see that the latest stable branch is version 22.01, and we are now on pfSense Plus software, and you should be good to go. So that about wraps it up for this video. If you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down in the comment section below. I'm also going to leave links in the description to the official news threads on both the subreddit as well as the Netgate forum, where there's a lot of ongoing conversation, obviously, about today's announcements. And we have Netgate staff both on the forum and also on Reddit answering questions. I've been answering questions there today as well. So we look forward to hearing your feedback. We look forward to hearing how the upgrade process works for you. And we look forward to seeing you on pfSense Plus very soon. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.